We appreciate you taking time to come and be a part of Rolling Miami in a big way. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation. Following that, the roll call of council members, and wait. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we just pause to give you thanks, Lord, and ask that you help us get through our destinies here. We want to bring Miami back to its original shape, healthy, wealthy, and wise. We want to do it working together as a coalition and cohesive workers working together with that. We know that we can do that, and we're off on a good start with our advisory committee working. There's a lot of opportunities here, and we'll be talking about some of them in this session. So we thank you, Lord, for all your help. Move on. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay. Roll call.
Mayor Madrid,
Present.
Vice Mayor Gonzalez,
Present.
Councilmember Medina,
Present.
Councilmember Moat, Councilmember Ryman,
Here.
Councilmember Sash,
Here.
Councilmember Stewart. Excuse, we have a quorum.
We'll start with the consent agenda. All items listed below are considered consent calendar items and may be approved by a single motion unless removed at the request of a council member for further discussion and action. Other items on the agenda may be added to the consent calendar and approved under a single motion. Item 4A, consideration and possible action to approve the council minutes of July 13th, 2026, regular meeting. Item 4B, consideration and possible action to approve the town of Miami payroll for June 21st, 2026, in the amount of $104,307.27. Item 4C, consideration and possible action to approve Child Support Awareness Month, August 2026 proclamation. Item 4D, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 1330, adopting a residential and anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan for fiscal year 2026/2027. And 4E, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 1331, designating the chief fiscal officer for officially submitting the fiscal year 2026 expenditure limitation report to the Arizona Auditor General. Okay. Speak a little bit about item 4D, resolution number 1330. guess it started in 1974.
Mayor, then you need to pull it off the consent agenda, have a vote on consent agenda, and then discuss that one item.
All right. Okay. Okay, item proclamation 4C. Proclamation of the town of Miami, Arizona to proclaim August 2026 as Child Support Awareness Month in the town of Miami, Arizona. Child Support Awareness Month. The town of Miami joined the nation in recognizing August as Child Support Awareness Month and reaffirms its commitment to strengthening Arizona families by providing child support services to improve the economic stability and well-being of children. And whereas the state of Arizona will always be committed advocates for the children whose safety and security remains top of mind. And whereas a child who receives emotional and financial support is more likely to feel safe and secure and is better equipped with the courage to be their very best in life. Whereas the Department of Economic Security Division of Child Support Services, DCSS, is robustly committed to putting Arizona's children first and to humbly serving Arizonans with excellence, respect, integrity, kindness, as well as being an overall champion for economic growth and opportunity. Whereas DCSS is a strong advocate for shared parenting responsibilities because parents and children benefit when both parents are engaged with their children at every stage, regardless of marital status. Whereas the strengthening an individual and families with an emphasis on fiscal responsibility promotes the safety and well-being of children, provides stability, improves the lives of the children, and provides opportunities for families to be able to enhance their children's future. And whereas Child Support Awareness Month salutes diligent parents who spend time with their child and who make regular child support payments to safeguard their children's future. Now, therefore, I, Gil Madrid, Mayor of the town of Miami, do hereby proclaim the month of August 2026 as Child Support Awareness Month. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Miami, Arizona to be affixed this 27th day of July, 2026.
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda items A, B, C, D, and E as stated.
Okay. Councilman Sash made a motion to approve A, B, C, D, and
E,
E. And Vice Mayor Gonzalez seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Okay, moving on to 5A, or 5, committee reports and general demands. 5A, consideration and possible action to approve the general demands for July 3rd, 2026 through July 16th, 2026, in the amount of $47,851.62. I got a question for you. Item, it's on page 5. Yeah, hard to read. Regarding Douglas Bassler reimbursement and purchase of glasses, please. Over there in the metrics, you got $287.97. With the minus, what is that?
Mayor, we went ahead and voided that check because there was a correction for the reimbursement for the officer.
We are gonna get it reimbursed.
A check was already issued.
That's what I meant. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else got any questions here?
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve committee report of general demands 5A as stated.
Councilman Sash made a motion to approve 5A. Vice Mayor Gonzalez seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. You. Okay. Down to item 6, reports, recognition, town manager, 6A.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council and residents of the town of Miami. On the EWP project, today was the kickoff for the construction at the Lake Basin. Sedimentation removal process at the holding tank creek has been successfully complete. We're moving forward for the incoming projects at the upgrades of the Torres Basin, improvement and construction to the Smelter Canyon Basin. Enhancing to the wall of the flooding tanks creek. We're gonna be creating 4 feet high walls on the flooding tanks creek to avoid any kind of flood coming to the Sullivan Street. On the project for the police department, Interstate Mechanicals already visited the facility to measure the truck system and gave some essential information for the construction. NBC is already finalized the electricals upgrade inside. They're waiting for the APS inspection from the Phoenix office. We received that information. Yes. Well, we're waiting for APM from the Phoenix office to inspect the system, or the plans. Then we anticipate a little later working on the facility with the tank in conjunction with Interstate Mechanical. With the expectation of finalizing on August 17th the project at the police department. We're into the economy developer, director, assistant town manager. We set up a form, a questionnaire that you have in front of you. And the reason for that is because all the applicants are from the north side of Arizona, Flagstaff, Sedona, Star Valley, and one applicant from Phoenix. And we want to make sure that when we select that future staff member, this commitment to the town of Miami is important because we don't have any applicant for the Globe, Miami, Superior area, Mesa area. concerning to the truck, regarding the truck, we found out those concerns regarding to the engine. The reaction is more to the 2011, 2014, and 2016 units. Nothing for the 2024 and latest. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 6B. I've got a few things to present to all of you. Let's start with an amazing get-together that we had at the high school, Miami Unified High School Convocation. It was a large assembly, began with an amazing dance by both Miami and Globe high school students. I'll tell you, that was amazing. And they belong. And America's Got Talent, as far as I'm concerned. That was amazing. I go back and watch them every time. So impressive. And afterward, the assembly program just moved on with a very entertaining and informative awards program, beginning with students and moving forward to teachers and officers. All fantastic. The school is just amazing. I was really impressed. And thanking Dr. Ramos for inviting me and my wife. Look forward to doing more of that. We want to help the school going forward. And during this presentation, I was amazed at the number of times I heard the term collaborate. It was almost every 10 words I heard it. And that's what it really takes. You gotta have good collaboration, cohesiveness. That is exactly what success is all about. That's how you get there, working together. Thank you. I didn't know you showed up. That was one heck of I enjoyed it. Okay, as I move on into my piece, I want to just kind of let people know what the last meeting was all about in a forum sort of way, because I started out with that, and took off in the wrong direction. But in response to the media's news that they put in, the documents that were passed around to our public attendees, I don't know if we had enough. I didn't think we'd have this many people. I got some more. But the agenda item 9I that was on that listed, July the 13th, was a complete surprise to me. It was an amendment to our town manager's employment contract, adding more severance pay and 5 additional years of service to our town that I had never seen. That's to my memory. I don't know where I was that day, September, but I wasn't here. That is what prompted me to move to table that. There was a lot of resistance to my request, so I responded by offering an example of the town manager's failure regarding our town swimming pool. That is when our attorney, as well as a few of our councilmen, started yelling, especially the one next to me during that day. The response was not on the agenda, and I was trying to tell them, my response was, However, I knew there was a clause in the open meeting law book. And that clause that I was certain would allow me the opportunity to try to talk about this in more definition and detail. In 7.7.6, discussing and deciding matters not listed on the agenda. The public body may discuss, consider, or decide only those matters listed on the agenda and, parentheses, other matters related thereto, into parentheses. It's ARS.38-431.02. The other matters clause provides flexibility to a public body, but should be construed narrowly. The other matters must in some reasonable manner be related to an item specifically listed on the agenda. And this was the perfect. I mean, it was definitely related to the agenda. I was talking about the performance of our town manager who's getting an amendment to his contract. Why isn't that, it fits this narrative, as far as I'm concerned. And that's why I was trying to move it forward in that manner. And I just want to let people know that I was doing that because I thought it was the right thing to do. And I sort of got into a lot of yelling and screaming. And I even talked about this law. I didn't get a chance to explain it because I kept getting stopped by the council. No, I mean by the lawyer, telling me that I was wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. So I stopped, but I want to get back to it because I think everybody needs to know. I'm only doing what we need to do.
Okay, but you're using your report to readdress an agenda item that's not on the agenda again tonight. And I get that you want to talk about it, but there's a reason why we have the open meeting. And it's to allow for and to provide for the public to know what the council's going to talk about. And so, again, you're doing it again tonight. You're going on and you're explaining and talking about something that you were told wasn't part of the agenda last time, and it wasn't. You could make a correlation that one thing is related to something else. And again, as John told you, he gives the advice. If you want to follow it, you follow it. But again, I have to tell you, again, that same advice tonight. The open meeting law provides for these rules and requirements. And using your report time to rehash and to go over and to talk about something that's not on the agenda without having anybody to have the opportunity to respond is, again, a violation of the open meeting. But again, it's up to you on how you want to handle your meeting.
Well, I just explained my interpretation of this clause. And that's why I moved in the direction that I moved, okay? I just wanted to get people to understand what that was all about from my perspective. Well, let's move on.
This is open for council reports, the lead council.
Concerning my report, you guys have a copy of my report? Okay.
Go ahead if you want to report it. Councilman. Well, it's not here, so I guess we'll move on. All right, item 7, call to the public pursuant to Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.01. At this time, members of the public may address the town council on any issue within the council's jurisdiction that is not on the agenda. There is a 3-minute limit for each speaker. The council's response is limited to responding to criticism, asking staff to remove a matter commented upon, or asking the matter to be put on a future agenda. Council members are not permitted to discuss or take legal action on a matter raised during the call to the public. Go ahead.
Becky Ramos, 1046 West Frederick Street. I personally would like to apologize to Mayor Madrid and all those in attendance at the last meeting for speaking out of turn. It is hard to sit here and watch a council not support the leader of this community that is trying to make Miami something that it used to be, a town that we, who grew up here, felt proud to be a part of. Since Mayor Madrid has been in office, we have seen nothing but good things come out of this town. We have finally seen some progress be made. But unfortunately, it has usually not been with the help or support of some of the members of this council, and that is a shame. It is hard to watch some on the council sit up there and refuse time and again to give him the support he is asking for. It is hard to understand why, when he is asking for transparency on anything, they refuse to cooperate. What is being hidden from him and from the citizens of Miami? Maybe they know, maybe they don't, but you should vote to table these matters until they are brought to light. We were all out of character at the last meeting, but the truth of the matter is, if we would see a council that works together, that stands behind the mayor and tries to do the best for those who elected you, then we would not have to speak out of turn. We would be able to applaud you for your efforts. Sometimes life requires us to get out of character to make change happen. I hope that those of you who remain on the council will examine your consciences going forward and will do your best to serve the people of this community and not yourselves. I hope that you will remember that the children and the citizens of this town's lives should be your priority at all times, and that you should not turn a blind eye to anything that is being done or that has been done in the past that may put them in harm's way or endanger their lives in any manner whatsoever. And that you should do your very best to make sure that those you choose to work for the town are doing the same. I hope that this council, whoever may be on it, will try to bring Miami back to a place we can be proud to call our home. Yes, Miami is a very small community with limited funds to work with, but it is every member on this council's responsibility to make sure that the money is spent wisely and in the best interests of the people who live here. You have all taken an oath to represent the citizens of Miami, not to serve yourself or any other paid official or employee, no matter what the consequences are or what the truth may hold. Please remember to live up to that oath. And now, seeing how the citizens of Miami have voted, it is obvious that I am not alone in my frustration and disappointment with some of the current council members. I congratulate those newly elected, and I'm confident that you will work with our great mayor to move in a positive direction.
Sorry.
And yes, okay, I'm a proud member of the class of 73 who support this town because we love it. And we
Here, 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 here.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Ray Webb, 137 South Miami Avenue. A concerned citizen. From what I heard from last meeting, not concerning that, but what Mr. Sosh said about ADOT, I am very concerned about losing our parking and traffic lights. And this is going to hurt businesses along the highway. Do you see how many truckers that drive through here, park along the side of the road? You take away the parking, that can't happen. Businesses are going to be hurt.
And I will fight for this. If I have to get the citizens together, I will write our representatives like I did the last time this came before the council. We will keep our traffic lights and our parking. It would be great to have a turn lane. I agree with that, but there's not enough area, not enough distance to do it all. So that's my comment tonight. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Yes. Noreen Prater, 1338 West Turner Street. The voters of Miami have spoken. The results of the July 21st, 2026 election make one thing clear. The people want change. It has been evident that our mayor has worked hard to collaborate with the town manager and some members of the town council. In an effort to move our community forward, I was honored to work alongside Willard Shupratt of KIKO Radio for more than 20 years. He taught me the importance of honesty, treating every person with respect, and reporting the truth to our community. Both sides be presented. Those values matter. And today, the voices of the people were heard. In closing, I would like to congratulate the new members of our Miami Town Council and wish them the very best in their term in office. Thank you.
Matt Ramos, 1046 West Frederick Street. I have a question. It's concerning the HVAC that we talked about last week with all the arguments and disagreements. When I saw the paper last week and the cost of getting that HVAC to the 2.5 ton AC, I was shocked. So the next few days I went and talked to 3 different contractors, gave me prices amongst those lines. 2.5 AC with ducking, complete ducking. I went on and I said, just figure it at complete ducking. Cut-off boxes, electrical. Their prices were very, very, what I would think is a good price, because I've had some AC work done. My son's in ACs and 2 of the different contractors that I talked to, their price was lower than the price I looked at and that I was shocked at. I think my question is this. Whoever gets the contract or a work order or a proposal, who looks at that? And is there anybody else looking at that or just one person? Because I would think that everybody should look at that. At least all the council people or whoever's up there that should look at this, because I just don't see where the money's going. I just don't. I think it's getting left somewhere behind. I'm not saying no one's taking money. I'm saying it's getting left behind or we're getting hoodwinked with the contractors. And if that was the lowest of the 3 contractors, then I'm really worried. Like I said, I'm not saying nobody's taking money. I would never say that. But what I am saying is maybe the person is not qualified to do the job if he's not coming back with a lower price. In construction, you look for the best job for the lowest amount of money. Bottom line. Thank you.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Yes, Mayor, my name is Daniel Osters. I live in Claypool, and I'm trying to support the town of Miami and church and things up here. Under Robert's Rule of Order, I'm going to relinquish my 3 minutes. Okay, so you can finish what you were talking about.
Mayor, that's not provided for under Robert's rules of order.
I think the point was made.
Hey, Danny.
I think that's gonna take care of, our call to the public. Nobody else is jumping up. So we'll move on. Item 8, unfinished business. 8A, information, discussion, and possible action, discussion and possible direction to the town manager to move forward with the purchase of a 2027 Ford F-750 with equipment, garbage truck in the amount of $202,673.51.
Mayor and council, after researching information that we expressed on previous meeting of July 13, those engines have some issues from 2011 Forces. Hello, okay. The engine, those manufacturer situation that happened is in 2011, 14, and 16. In addition to that, I talked to the public work director, and the way that they maintain and have some protocols for the garbage truck will protect the engine and transmission of this new equipment.
Does this purchase supersede the police vehicles? Are we taking care of them as well?
Those are separate items.
You gonna tell me that's not on the agenda?
Well, it's not.
That's correct. Mayor, the topic of the police department vehicles is not in the agenda.
Collectors, I believe in the last meeting, that I requested that you go back to the other two bidders, and give them the same quote. Were you able to see if they were able to match the price? And if so, I'd like to see those two quotes that you did.
Vice Mayor, no, because my understanding that is, after presented this, quote that is from the government, I don't think it's legality, to go and request a better opportunity on those vehicles. But I can, with the direction from the mayor, council, and the lawyer, we can fulfill that.
But yeah, where I thought that you okayed that you would get with the other two companies so that the match is my understanding nonetheless. We refer back to the minutes, but.
No, I said it's correct, but, I still have the concern about the legality of going with this, quote and request probably an adjustments or probably a better cost for the units. But, I can do it and see, the manufacturer time and all those elements, how it come.
Joe, maybe you can interject on this. So, on the last meeting, I requested, there was two other bids that were separate from this original that being submitted to council, two different vendors, but they were two separate vehicles. And so I requested that they go back, if Alexis can go back to those two vendors to see if they can get a better price from those two vendors. But that'd be a legal
Yeah,
issue.
if it was something that was bid out and they submitted their bids, you can't go back and then ask them to change their bid after the fact.
With the matching, but we were.
Yeah, well, that's the purpose of having the bidding process is you submit your best and final. You don't get the opportunity to go back and try to use this bid to go get the other person to reduce or change their bid, because then you end up with the potential of getting a bid protest, because now you're getting additional information, you're getting changes after the bid, the RFP time closes.
Okay, I just need clarification on that, so. thank you.
Any other comments?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the new garbage truck for $202,673.51. Second.
Second. Okay, Councilman Sodge made a move to approve. Councilman Ryman seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Okay, item 8B, information, discussion, and possible action, consideration, and possible approval of the call to public request to speak card and rules for addressing the town council. We went through that earlier today. I think we had a complete quorum on leaving it the way it is.
Well, you would still need a question there. Well, Joel, Dan's the one that bring this up. He's not here.
It doesn't matter who initially brings it up. If it's on the agenda, you know, if nobody makes a motion, then it fails for lack of motion. So if you want to keep things status quo, then it would fail for lack of motion. If somebody wants to make a motion, we can make a motion.
Just keep our mouths shut.
Keep your mouth shut. You sound like my wife.
Could we, bring this up and make a motion as no, to vote no on it?
Yeah, you can always make a motion to maintain it the way it is currently.
So it'd be a vote no. Well, I mean, I can't say with anybody else, but,
You don't have to say to vote no, you can just say, I move to maintain the call to public as we currently have it. So then it's an affirmative vote and that way there's an actual motion in council action with regard to the item that we could refer back to.
Okay, so then I'll make a motion to keep things the status quo, without any changes.
Okay.
Okay. Vice Mayor Gonzalez made a motion to keep it the way it is. Councilman Sodge seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Let's go. All right. Move on to item 9, new business. 9A, information, discussion, and possible action, presentation, and possible acceptance of fiscal year 2023/2024 audit report. Matt, Bingham? Go ahead, Matt.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. Thank you for allowing me to come tonight. To talk about the audit. So we were engaged by the town to perform the annual audit of the annual financial statements for fiscal year 23-24. So this financial information is a little over 2 years old, so we're going back a ways. But I wanted to let me introduce myself. I don't know if everybody knows who I am, but my name is Matt Bingham. I'm a partner with Fulton Health PLC. Our firm, we do all kinds of work. We do tax work, we do audit work, consulting work. But our main niche is we work with a lot of municipalities throughout the state. I think they currently count about 20. And along with other local governments that aren't municipalities, doing audits and consulting work. And so I wanted to, before I get into the presentation, I also wanted to thank Maria and Alexis for working with us, giving us all the information we needed to perform our audit and to get it done. So I know when we come here, we ask for a lot of stuff and we can kind of disrupt the daily operations. But I just wanted to give them a shout out for being cordial and giving us everything we needed in time. So I think this might be the old set of slides actually. This new set. Yeah, this is the old set. Anyway, I don't think I've ever done this with the council, so I wanted to take a quick second and go over, we've issued 3 reports. The big one is the annual financial statement packet, which is about 70 pages of information. It's your financial statements in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. The second report that we've issued is your expenditure limitation report. There's not really any news there. The town was all under the threshold, so we won't really talk about that tonight. And there was a third report that we issued that is, we call it a SAS 114 letter. It basically is a summary of it's a brief synopsis of the audit and what happened. So hopefully the council has those 3 reports and has had a chance to look through those. But I wanted to go through, kind of do something a little different tonight and go through the annual financial statement packet. So there's a lot of information here. Like I said, there's 70 pages of information, and I don't know how familiar everybody is with it, but just wanted to quickly go through it, go over what's in here. So the first thing that's in here is, there we go, is our audit report. So this is our report, Colby & Powell's audit report. Basically outlines our responsibilities, management's responsibilities, the results of our audit, and our opinion on the financial statements. There's about 3 or 4 pages there of just of that. The next section we get into management's representation. So these are the start of the financial statements themselves. So the first section in the of those financial statements are the government-wide financial statements. These are a set of financial statements. They're on the full accrual basis of accounting. So much like a for-profit entity, it's the same type of basis. So you're going to see expenses reported when they're incurred, not necessarily when they're paid. You'll see things like depreciation, things like that, if you're familiar with for-profit accounting. And those government-wide financial statements are kind of really summarized. So you're basically breaking the town into 2 parts. You're taking the town and showing sewer and sanitation in one column, and then everything else. General government, public safety, in another column. That's your governmental activities. And then there's a total column that is the total. And then there's 2 sets of financial statements. There's like a balance sheet, we call it statement of net position, and then a statement of activities, which is kind of like an income statement. The next set of financial statements, we have the fund financial statements. And this is where things get a little different. So there's three different types of fund financial statements. You have the governmental fund financial statements. Those are made up of the general fund, the grants fund, the library fund. There's a couple of them. They're all kind of listed right here. General fund, per fund, transit fund, senior center fund, grants fund, library fund. Those are your governmental funds. And those are on a different basis of accounting. Those are more similar to almost cash basis. I wouldn't say cash basis, but it's near-term inflows and outflows of resources, and how your stewardship and how you're showing how you use those resources in a short-term way. The second set of financial statements are your proprietary funds. Basically, you have a single proprietary fund, which is the utility fund, which next is sewer and sanitation. They're all in the same fund, and then there's a fiduciary fund. So the town has a trust fund for the firefighters' pension, and that's what that is. The next section are the notes to the financial statements. Those are basically 30 to 40 pages of extra detail of stuff that's in the financial statements themselves. And it provides further explanation to the numbers, more details there, and those are required by generally accepted accounting principles. And then the next section is the required supplementary information. This is what's required by GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles that aren't part of your financial statements. And they provide more detail as to what happened in the town during the fiscal year. So there's two different types of supplementary information that is reported. The first being the budget to actual schedule. So there's schedules that show what the actual results were compared to budget for our governmental funds. So the general fund, the HERD fund, the library fund, And then the second item there are pension and OPEB schedules. So the town participates in Arizona State Retirement System and in public safety. So there's probably 3 or 4 schedules back there that kind of outlines the changes in those liabilities and what happened with those liabilities during the year, and how the town funded those plans. And then finally, the last item in there is, we call it a NOAA book report, but basically the official title is audit report issued in accordance with government auditing standards. And it basically outlines our responsibilities as auditors will be related to your internal controls and our reporting of any significant deficiencies in your internal controls or any significant non-compliance issues related to financial statements. So these are all the funds of the town of Miami, and these are all the financial. Each of these items has a set of financial statements that we will find on as to whether those financial statements are materially presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. We perform the audit in accordance with our professional set of standards, and that second set of standards called government auditing standards. And uniform guidance. If there's a single audit, the town didn't have a single audit this last year. So our main objective as part of the audit is to give an opinion as to whether they're materially correct. That somebody, whether it's the town council, the citizens, can rely upon these financial statements, that there's no material misstatements, whether it's due to error or fraud. And so for all of these opinion units of the town of Miami, we've issued an unmodified opinion or a clean opinion on the financial statements. So we believe that they can be relied upon based on material statements. As I mentioned earlier, we have that yellow book report where we talk about our responsibilities related to your internal controls and how they relate to our audit. We don't necessarily opine on your internal controls, but if we come across any deficiencies in your internal controls that we consider significant enough, we're required to bring it to the council's attention so that you're aware of what's happening and you can decide to take action or not take action. And for this fiscal year that we audited, for fiscal year 23-24, there were a couple of items that met that criteria. The first one is it's entitled. So there's more information on these findings. I believe they start on page 62. But so if you wanted to look in the financial statement, there's more information there, more detail. But the first one is preparation of working trial balance. Basically, what that is in layman's terms is the books weren't quite up to par, I guess, when we started the audit. The year-end close process wasn't complete, and so there were a number of audit adjustments that we proposed and that needed to be made to bring your financial statements up to generally accepted accounting principles. We proposed those adjustments. We passed those on to Maria to make sure she was good with them. I think Dennis Osich also looked at them and approved them. They were posted in your financial statements and in your accounting records. And in an ideal world, as auditors, when we come in, we hope to not find any or make any audit adjustments. That wasn't the case for this fiscal year. The next item is an obvious one. It's a non-compliance issue. We're obviously late with our financial information. We're talking about an audit of financial statements that are over 2 years old, right? So the state statute requires that the audited financial statements are issued by December 31st, so 6 months after year end, and then the expenditure limitation report is due March 31st. And we were late on both of those. And then the last item, we exceeded in our general fund, we exceeded a number of final budget amounts in a number of departments. And they're all listed here in the amounts that they exceeded budget. The state statute requires that we're not supposed to exceed expenditure amounts at the department level, which we did. So that's it for my audit report. I don't know if there's any questions or anything that I can talk about. about with regard to the audit.
Is there any penalty for being that late? With your submittal?
So the town's required to go through a number of steps when they're that late to post some things, especially when it's when the budget, when you're starting to prepare the budget for the following year. You're required to report that the financial statements haven't been audited and issued. There's a couple of requirements there, but as far as I know, there's not really penalties per se. You just have to post anywhere that the financial information is available.
Looking at the back, your reports and schedules required by governmental auditing. Page 61 jumps to 63, and 63 jumps to 65.
So I don't know how it was printed. It should be front and back.
Nothing missing there.
Yeah,
It's correct in the,
and what have been printed out. So I don't know.
but maybe in the printing, it must have missed pages, but I mean, there's, look at the receipt. It's accurate.
Okay. Any other questions?
I know there was a question related to since we're late, we're so far back that we're trying to get caught up. So we're actually scheduled to start the next audit in 2 to 3 weeks. So we're hoping to, once the year-end close of all the books is completed, to be able to come out in 2 to 3 weeks and start that process. Usually it'll take 4 to 6 weeks if everything goes smoothly to get the next.
Matt, so, I just appreciate you coming in. I know you've been very, with our staff and working with us and trying to get us up to date on this. And, just your breakdown that you broke with the papers that you provided with us, what each page represents. And I know that any of the council members, if they do have any questions, I'm sure they can reach out to you. They have further questions after tonight to, clarify anything. But, I know in the past, when we got to the findings, like we would have pages and pages in the past, and now we only have 3 findings. Of course, we're a couple of years behind, but I think the town has been moving progressively better with our financial situation, and it's obvious looking at, like I said, we never even got a opinion, and at least now we're getting an opinion. Hopefully, moving forward, with this next audit. That would probably be a lot better too, significantly better. So we are 2 years behind, and I know you said roughly it takes about 6 weeks to get one done. And maybe this might be a Dennis question, but I don't know, would we be available after that first audit is done? The next audit coming in to be immediately start to get caught up. We're up for the fiscal year, because I know this has an impact on a lot of our grants that we were applying for, and we're not up to date. It's kind of detrimental to obtaining a lot of these. So I just want to make sure that we're up to date, and if we can move forward on the next one. I don't know what your schedule looks like. I know you're packed with doing audits all the time, but I know you said next coming it would take 6 weeks, but I don't know if that's Dennis' question or if that's your question, if we'll be ready to go with the next to be caught up. So I don't know if you can answer that, or when Dennis comes up, I can ask that same question. If Dennis can remark on that one. But I would like us to be up to date currently, and that's our goal on council, to make sure that's where we're at.
Yeah, I'll leave Dennis to kind of answer most of that, but I as far as we're concerned, as long as the books are ready to go, as soon as we get the green light from Alexis and Maria and Dennis that the books are ready to audit, we can normally schedule some time within a couple weeks just to come out and do our field work, and then from that point in time, when we're out here to the field work, as long as there's not any major issues that pop up, we can usually wrap things up in about 6 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate being service to this.
Thank you.
Mayor, if we get a motion to accept that audit, the 23-24 audit report.
Mayor, I'll make that motion to accept fiscal year 2023-2024 audit report from Matthew Public Development.
I'll second.
Vice Mayor Gonzalez made a motion to approve. Councilman Sash seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Okay, item 9B. Information and discussion only, presentation information regarding Town of Miami's financial procedures and policy. Dennis Sausage, consultant for the Town of Miami.
Well, thank you, Mayor and Council. Sorry about that. Matt left his phone here, so
No
I
worries.
better run that out before he heads back down into the valley. So let me introduce myself real quickly, for those of you that don't know me. My name is Dennis Osage, and I've actually been doing governmental accounting now for about 29 years. I've got my own practice now, Osage Consulting. I've been doing that for a little over 3 years. Prior to that, I worked for I've been a partner at an international firm, and I led our government accounting group for that firm. I've been working with the Town of Miami. Our goal is to get things caught up. So I know one of the questions was, can we get back on track with the financial statements are issued timely? So Arizona statute requires that financial statements for cities and towns be issued by March 31st. And there was a question about, what are the consequences of not issuing by that date? And that was correct. There really isn't necessarily any type of consequences at the state level. As long as you have the posting that financial statements, audited financial statements are not available, you're complying with state law. However, as a recipient of federal and state grants, it can have an impact on withholding monies for grants that you may have. So it is important to get caught up. And so that's what my firm is here to do, is to help the town get those audits caught up. So we're working currently right now on getting the 25 financial statements ready for Matt to come in and do the audit in a few weeks. And then the other question was, can we get the 26 audit essentially issued? So the due date from state statute would be March 31st of 27 for the June 30th, 2026 financial statements to be issued. And so I think that can definitely be done. The plan is to have the 25 audited financial statements issued by, I think it's November 15th. And then we can turn around and start work on getting the audit prep ready so that the financial statements are ready to be audited sometime in January, February with an issuance date of March 31st. So that's the plan. And so me and my firm, that's what we're doing, is we're working with the finance department in order to get back on track and have those financial statements ready. Matt sort of went through all the different financial statements that are in the audit report that he does. You've got the government-wide financial statements, which are on a full accrual basis of accounting, and then you've got your fund level financial statements on the governmental, which is a modified accrual basis of accounting. So we work with the town in order to do some of the year-end accruals in order to get those financial statements on the modified and the full accrual basis, so that what's presented to the audit firm is ready for them to audit to reduce the number of audit adjustments that they have to make in order to do that. We also review some of the reconciliations that are done and provide adjustments in order to get any type of reconciliations that need corrections. We take care of that before the audit's in place as well. And so, it's good to have a second set of eyes. The town does have a small finance department, and so in order to ensure that we've got a second set of eyes looking at it and that we're providing accurate information to the auditors, that are to help the town out in order to do that. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that the council may have of me.
Any questions?
Just a comment. You know, I know you worked hard the last couple of years here and, you know, you did become highly recommended from, you know, a previous consultant, Matt Walker, and I wish you wouldn't have brought you in and you weren't capable of doing the job. And so, you know, I just appreciate your time you have in here and, you know, the dedication to get us caught up. So that's just my goal is I want to make sure that we meet that March 31st or what the timeline in March is so we can be caught up. So, you know, whatever you can do diligently, come up here as often as you can, you know, out with our finance department, you know, so we can meet that deadline. So that's my goal, and I'm sure the council is going to be caught up. So is there any way to make sure that we can meet that goal, you know, if you have to be up there that day, whatever, to.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I will be up here this Wednesday. We've already requested a lot of information, and so Maria has already uploaded a lot of the information. We have a secure portal that she can upload that information. So we've gotten actually quite a bit of the work done in advance. But some of the work, we're requesting some documents just like the auditors do. We're not doing the audit, but we need that same documentation to ensure that we're making the right accruals. We're looking at the reconciliations correctly, so we want to be on site for that. So we will be here Wednesday in order to do that. Hopefully get most of that wrapped up when we're here Wednesday. Probably have a little bit to do, you know, through the rest of the week and early next week in order to get the trial balance ready. But, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I will say it's more difficult the further back you have to go and try to get these things prepped. So the closer that we get to, you know, the 2026 audit prep is going to be much easier than say even going back to 2024. It's a lot of that information is older and you know, trying to dig up some of the records as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9C, public hearing to hold a truth in taxation public hearing on the proposed primary property tax. The town of Miami is proposing a primary property tax of $1,499 or 4.34%. It's open for public comments. I'm not sure where these numbers came from, but I didn't get somebody to tell me.
We need to open the public hearing, then
Yeah.
allow for public comments, and then close the public hearing.
Okay. I'll motion to public hearings.
There's no
I can't do
motion.
it.
There's no motion.
Oh, I
Just
don't.
Open the public hearing.
What do we need?
You open the public hearing as the chair of the meeting. You allow for public comment. And then once public comment is done, you close the hearing.
We're just looking for public comments on those numbers, and I'm wondering where those numbers came from. 4.34%. When I look at, what I can find anyway in state law, it seems like it was 1 to 2%. And I wanted to find out which is right. Is it 4% or is it a limited 1 to 2% for property tax? Where's our specialist in property tax?
So the county sends us over the numbers, and there's not an increase. In fact, it's going down this year. That's why we didn't do a truth in taxation process, but we still have to have the public hearing. So the property tax rate, not really the rate, but that 4.34% went down from what we had last year. But the numbers come over from the county, from the assessor's office. They send us the numbers. We put them into the formula, and it pops everything up for us, so we know if we have to do truth in taxation or not. This year, since I've been here, this is my 14th year. This is the first year that we have not had to do truth in taxation.
Thank you, Ken. Comments, guys? All right, we'll move on to
Okay,
90.
You haven't opened and held the
You told
public
me
hearing.
not to open it, now I've got to close it.
I told you you don't do a motion to open it, that you as the chair have to open the public hearing, ask for public comment, and then close the public hearing once public comment is over, or if there isn't any public comment.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, we move to close public hearing.
No, you haven't opened it yet, Mayor.
I tried and you stopped me.
Because you were doing it as a motion. I was saying it's not a motion to open the public hearing. You opened
Okay,
the
I'll
public
open
hearing.
it, not a motion, it's just open it. And now I'll close it. And I'll never forget that again. Thank you, Joe. All right, item 9D. Information, discussion, and possible action, possible approval of intergovernmental agreement 2026 between Gila County, the city of Globe, and the town of Miami to collaborate in the development of a long-term regional flood mitigation plan for the Globe Miami region.
Mayor and council, this agreement was approved by the board of supervisors the last July 21st, and very important, this agreement is sponsored by Freeport McMoran. They're gonna bring a consultant, that they're gonna be working on different grants for the region. Passed unanimous on July 21st, and today we have the final agreement to be approved by the town of Miami. And council.
Any questions, guys? Go ahead.
If I could, I think there needs to be correction on the IGA. You might correct me if I'm wrong, but on the last page on the signing, the chairman of the board, Fort County,
Yes,
so does that need to be corrected?
yes, need to be corrected because
Okay,
it's
I just want to make sure we catch that.
I'll just let you guys know that, the county brought the signed documents over, and the corrections are on the signed one that we're gonna sign. So they'll reflect on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comment? I know we already approved this once, talking about it 2 meetings ago.
And Mayor, when you guys motion, because, on the agenda item, I put agreement number XXXX2026. The actual, when I got the document today, the county had put the agreement number on there. And I think it's 0108 or 0708, I don't know if somebody is,
0708.
oh, yeah, 0708 2026 is the agreement.
1708?
0708.
Okay. Got it.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the IGA number 07082026 between Gila County and the City of Globe and the Town of Miami to collaborate in the development of a long-term regional flood mitigation plan for the Globe Miami region.
Second.
Okay, Vice Mayor Gonzalez made a motion to approve. Councilman Ryman seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Collaboratively. All right. Item 9E, information and discussion. Information and status report regarding filling the position of Economic Development Director Assistant Town Manager. Yeah, I wanted to get an update, that's why I had it on the agenda, and you gave it to us earlier.
The reason, like I say, Mayor and Council, is because 100% of the applicants are from the north side of the state of Arizona. It's very important to know in this position, what is the commitment? We're going to be moving in 30 days, 90 days, 60 days, those elements, and you can read what we present to them. We start receiving this last night, one of the applicants respond. We're waiting for the next 4 to move forward.
Any guesstimate on timing for this?
It's depending how fast the next 4 applicants can respond to this question.
Alexis, I do have a question. So once we narrow it down, so there's 5 that you have. So if you go with these 5, are you going to interview them?
That's correct. Yes.
So my next question then is, who's going to be on that panel, on the interview panel or the interview committee?
I don't have that yet, but I can send an email to Mayor and Council to present who's going to be on the board.
Yeah, so, I would think that council should be, some council members should be present on that committee since they'll be working heavily with, as assistant town managers. So I think they should have a say on it. I don't know if Joe, if all 7 of us could be on that committee. I don't know how that works. But I think council should be part of that panel.
So, yeah, more than 3 are together at the meeting, then it would have to be published as an open meeting. Normally, council are not part of employment committees, selection committees, unless council would like to amend the code with regard to how council addresses different positions within the town. I don't think we have anything in the code that addresses an assistant town manager position. I know we've had a discussion before with regard to police chief selection and other department director selections. So if council wants to do that, then yes, we're definitely able to make those amendments. But in the meantime, yes, we can do 3 council members without having an open meeting or quorum issue. You want to draw lots for that, or boxes or anything?
I should volunteer for it. Very interested in that. Anybody else? Any comments? Okay, item 9F. Information and discussion only. Discussion and status update regarding FEMA's denial of the Town of Miami request for a major disaster declaration funding.
Mayor and Council, in front of you, you have the response from the governor of the state of Arizona regarding to the FEMA disaster relief denial letter. Multiple elements happened after that letter was received. We have a meeting with our lobbyist because Freeport and the Mining Association present a letter of support on this funding to Washington. We bring that letter to our lobbyists, and they're gonna be having some meetings consistent and see how they can address this need of funding. In addition to that, we have a meeting with some consultants to see how we can address and take advantage of some grants that are available right now. July 14, FEMA put a grant for $600 million for multiple disaster relief. We are studying that requirement in two other avenues. In addition, today, we received a communication regarding to a possible lawsuit in this matter from the governor's office and other stakeholders. As soon as it gets certified that information, we're gonna talk to our lawyer and see advantage, disadvantage of the action, part of that lawsuit. That's what we have at the moment.
Alexis, so if we go in with the county and the city of Logan ourselves, in this lawsuit, I'm sure it's probably early to be able to determine if our fees will be reimbursed, and then if in our budget, do we have it allocated to put our portion in to fight this battle until we get reimbursed? So just questions that.
It's early, like you say,
Yeah.
Vice Mayor, but that's the reason, as soon as we receive more information, we want to present to Joe, because it's like you say, funding wise, it's gonna be a challenge. But we have two avenues, apply direct to FEMA, that giving to us the liberty to request 15 million, 20 millions that we need in order to put this back our town, plus the lobbyists working in Washington, and we have the department. We are using two avenues, but that third avenue of the lawsuit, we want to be careful how we can, because we have good relationship with both sides of that. We don't want to burn that. That's another element that we need to take into consideration.
Any other comments, guys? Okay. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Wendy Rogers recently sent a letter over to FEMA. I think office in California somewhere. I don't remember.
Region 9, the actual designated director from the White House. Yes.
And we had a meeting this past Saturday with Senator,
Gallego.
and he was talking about trying to get FEMA going again. But he also, much to my surprise, and I love hearing it, they're working on a housing process for rural and, cities and, but for rural areas. They want to help out a lot with housing. And that's exactly what our primary is, a high priority for us. And it was proven by not only our perception of it, but Freeport did a big survey in Gila County, and they came up with the same thing. They had 5 elements that they were surveying, trying to get people to pick which one they think is first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And housing came out on top of that as well. But there's a lot of opportunity that we need to jump into and research, and maybe get some councilmen working with you, Alexis, and others to help get this thing moving for us. And we have the advisory committee as well. But it's certainly smelling a lot better the way our senator was talking about it. Should be on the news. Any other? Nobody? All right. In terms of item 10, call to council, future agenda items. Yes.
I just want to have a reminder that this Thursday, we will be having Vandal Bash down on Hot Steppler Pool. And so there'll be a lot of activities going on. So if you guys are curious what's happening, just a reminder about Vandal Bash at Hot Steppler Pool this Thursday.
I remember reading that. That's just one day?
It's Thursday.
All right. I don't have any agenda items to add this time.
I have an agenda item.
Anybody?
Any no disrespect to anybody. I feel that we need a vote of confidence on our mayor. And I would like to have that agenda item that they're going to use on me at one time to recall mayor back to council position. I'd like to see that agenda, that mechanism fired up, and that'll be a vote of confidence. We'll vote for or against, simple, cut and dry. Thank you.
You're welcome to say whatever you want, Councilman.
Mayor, if there's nothing else, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, Councilman Sash made a motion to adjourn. Vice Mayor Gonzalez seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you all. Appreciate it.